Good morning, everybody. We're here at my good friend Jim McEwan's private house. I asked Jim if he'd do the tasting notes for our newest edition, which is going to be bottled on the 24th of May this year. It will be then 14 years of age, and James very kindly invited us up with a little help from myself, and
the money helped.
The money, did it? It's coming.
I mean,
it's coming.
That £3.50 you said made all the difference.
Well, there you go. Anyway, James, here we are, trying something that's still aging in a cask in a warehouse in Scotland, and we'd like you to be one of the first to taste it.
Yeah.
You've been having a little experience of whiskey in your lifetime. This whiskey, James, lived for 12 years in a rib salts cask, and we split that cask into two. We bottled half into our number 6 edition, and the other half we put into our Yalumba 45 wine cask.
Wow.
For another 18 months, 19 months.
So it's been the reef salts and then the lumber.
And then into the Yalumba 45. It's changed its colour, it's changed quite a few characteristics of the whiskey from number 6. This will be going on sale at the beginning of June.
It's a limited edition, I take it.
There'll be about 200 bottles.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Well, I recommend
There was 200 and odd of the rib salts edition number 6.
I'll tell you what I think about it. The colour is absolutely stunning, beautiful, and as you know, I'm a great lover of whiskey in wine casks. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I love the colour of it, and the strength in this one's 50.4.
We've brought it down from 59 to 50.4.
That's a good strength.
Mm.
You can add water or not add water,
Yeah.
as the case may be. It's a drinkable strength as well.
It is.
It's really, really good. So, well, cheers, mate.
Cheers, thank you for the invite to the old house,
Yeah.
even though you were a little pressured the other evening.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
I would say to the people if you're evaluating whiskey, always use a glass with a stem. That's really, really critical. You don't want fingerprints on the glass, that's critical. And and this is not chill filtered, this whiskey, I can see that.
No, it's
It's
not.
not chill filtered.
No.
I'll show you another trick I use as well, just to check on the viscosity of the spirit. I take the glass like that in one hand, and I rest the glass on my finger. Now these glasses have come from a dishwashing machine, so they're super clean. So I'm looking at the camera and I'm still turning it around just to prove it's not a story I'm making up, you know. So what I'm doing there, it's not chill filtered, so that means the natural oils from the malted barley have given it this viscosity. And then you hold it up to the light, and then you watch the speed of the teardrops falling. You see them coming down there?
Yeah.
You see that viscosity?
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. That's the length of time it takes to run down the glass. How long is it going to last in your tongue? It's going to last a long, long time on your palate because it's not chill filtered. And that's that. Look at it. It's just like a ring of pearls there.
It is. It is.
It's a good way for you guys who are customers of Heavies just to check out has it been chill filtered or not. Had it been chill filtered, you would not have got the ring of pearls, which you can see right round there. It's just a simple trick. Just turn it round, you get really good at it, you don't spill it on yourself, you just turn it round. Up it goes. And you can watch the speed and the distance between them. The older it gets, the slower the move, just like myself, I can hardly move now. And the space between the teardrops widens. It's just a simple trick. If you're in a blind competition and you're trying to evaluate the age of the spirit, that's your first go-to. Have a look at the fall. I've got teardrops falling, there's a big gap in there. This might sound a lot of bullshit to you guys because you just want to drink it. I accept that. I'm telling you what I do as a professional. In a blind tasting, you could have 12 different whiskies, you know nothing about them other than the age of them and the region they come from. So I've got this system that I go through, and that's the first part of it. Before I even start nosing, I will do this. Just that simple trick, turn it round, and have a look at it. And the next thing to do is to nose it without water. Really important. Don't put your nose right in the glass immediately, because your eyes might fall out. It's a really strong one.
It's done that with me a few times.
Yeah, I can imagine. So just nose it, And what you're looking for initially, is there anything in this glass that I don't like? Is there an off note there? There is no off notes in this. Which means the wood was good, the cask was good, really, really good. So that's important. It's lovely. So much fruit in there, it's just
Incredible.
delightful, absolutely
And
delightful.
don't forget, James, you distilled this
I know. That's what
14 years ago. So if you say any bad words about it, it's your fault.
You haven't paid me for the bloody thing yet.
I know I haven't. I did it on film first.
So, that's a little trick as a professional. In a competition, I'll show you what we do. We look at the colour. This colour has come obviously from the wine cask. There's no artificial colouring added to this whatsoever. Heavy wouldn't do that. That's not the way it is. So, that's a little trick. Just look at the viscosity, how slow the
I know, it's beautiful.
It's full bodied. It's really, really coming down there. And then have a little nose at it. Without the water. Don't put your nose right in because it's still quite strong, you haven't added water. And when you put your nose into the glass, what you're looking for is any off notes. Is there something in here that I don't like? Was it bad cast, or is there too much artificial colour and all that?
Too much oak.
Yeah. It's as fresh can be. It's absolutely, really beautiful. Love it. You're getting all from the wine cask. You're getting all these beautiful, super great, quite great flavours, and the oak is just coming through and underpinning the whole lot. It's beautiful, but the whisky is really coming through. The maltiness is coming through.
Several elements here. You've got the oak, you've got the riv salts, which is a French cask, and then you've got the heavy fortifiedness of a lumber wine cask. That fortified wine has probably been in that cask for about 10 years or more.
Wow.
So we've got lots of elements in this, and they're all in there, and one by one you can pick them out.
Yeah.
Take you a while, you'd have to drink the bottle.
What I would say, this, there is a high fruit concentration in there.
There is.
But it's not diminishing the quality of the single malt itself.
Not at all. Not at all.
The sweetness of the barley is coming through, that is for sure.
Yeah.
The art of distillation is coming through. It's just, the viscosity is absolutely fabulous. So, as you know, I've worked with wine casks, thousands of wine casks from all over the place, and I really do love whisky matured or even finished in a wine cask. Bourbon first and then into the wine. This is 13-year-old. How long was it in the wine cask?
12 years in the riv salts, just over 12 years, and then when it comes out on the 24th of May this year, 21, it will be 14 years and 1 day.
Right.
So it'll add another September to September, so virtually 18 months in that fortified cask.
I must say, it's a very brave move to go from one wine cask to another. It's either going to work or it's not going to work at all. So far, it's working for me.
I love the experimentation of whisky.
Yeah.
I've been in the whisky job for the last 28 years, and the only way I went in to the whisky job, when I built the Fisherman's, I had an empty bar behind me. So I started buying, because that's all I could afford, 1 bottle a week. And I bought a bottle of whisky per week, opened it as soon as it come, tried it, and then I started tasting all the differences of the different whiskies that were coming in, Taliskers, from Islay, the Ardbegs, the Highlands and the Speyside, which are gentler whiskies.
Yeah.
And I started then becoming, and then the boys have followed through as well, coming behind me, and they've taken up the whisky challenge, well, not the challenge, the joy of having a nice whisky.
The apprenticeship.
Exactly.
Just an apprenticeship.
I'm still an apprentice.
That's not mine actually.
Yeah.
It's not mine. Because
The things you still learn.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
But I love, everybody goes on about bourbon, and I thought, no, I'm going to start, and that's why we brought casks over from Australia to put wine straight in, which are now, with about 50 odd casks settling in Scotland, throughout Scotland, with whisky in, directly in, no bourbon influence whatsoever, straight into the wine cask. And I think it gives it a different edge.
Well, as you know, like 99.9, oh maybe not that much, but at least 95% of all the whisky maturing in Scotland today is an American oak.
Yes.
You can't get sherry casks because nobody buys sherry anymore. So that's brought in the arrival of wine casks, and at Bruichladdich we were using all sorts of wine casks, as you know, we were doing Margaux, Latour, Chem, you know, and that revolutionised the whole thing. We were the first to do it at Bruichladdich.
Correct.
And the flavours, people loved it, they really loved it, and this is a fantastic whisky. I mean, I'm still getting the aromas here, it's really, really beautiful. So, I would never ever apologise for them putting whisky in a wine cask. It's a marriage made in heaven, you know. When it goes into a bourbon cask, the bourbon is very, very strong, so it's a battle of the two spirits.
I think it gives it a higher spirit flavour.
Yeah, for sure.
More than...
And this is more gentle, it's more palatable.
It does.
It's really, really good.
And really, you don't want to burn your mouth out every time you take a whiskey or your throat.
No.
And there's even at 10:30 in the morning, on a beautiful day on Islay,
You can drink
this is going down very nicely.
Yeah.
You know.
Barbara, could you bring in some cornflakes? I'm going to put this in my cornflakes.
Could you ask Barbara to do that, James?
Yes,
We've got to have James behind the camera here. James, you know us from our whisky tastings that we've been doing online, and he's our cameraman today. So and I'm my driver, because we're catching the ferry at 1 o'clock today.
Right, okay. Well, get back to the serious bit. 13-year-old, 50.4.
14-year-old.
It says on the label. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but the count says 14. It's not 14 till the 24th of May.
Okay, this is really important for you people watching. Careful. It's 14, almost. You know what I mean? By
Yeah.
a few days. It's around
Even
that.
if it's a few days off, you
Yeah.
can't bottle it and say it's 14.
Really, I didn't know that.
No, you can't. It's the Scottish rules.
He's new to this game.
I'm sorry about that, James.
I'm so glad you came up to
The
this.
student telling the teacher, I thought you knew the Scottish law.
I can't believe he's just done that. He's telling me how it works. That is fantastic. Well, good luck to you. Hope you enjoy your trip home. Cheers.
A little cheers, my friend.
So,
Come on, taste it. What do
on
you
the
think?
nose. Why are you going to nose it first?
You've nosed it.
No, it takes a long time. It takes half an hour to open,
Oh,
you know.
right,
The
okay.
bottle's cold.
I know, I'm sorry about that.
No,
I
it's,
should have taken it in last night.
yeah, it's lovely. There's a lot of, obviously the wine influence is really very, the main speaker there, but the oak is underpinning it beautifully, you know, it's, if this is the wine,
There's layers.
it's just, exactly, it's like that. And the oak has done a really, really good job. It's just fantastic. It's beautiful. Clean, smooth, you know, it's really sharp. I don't mean sharp as in...
Your lumber, because wine's more delicate than the spirit, your lumber make all their own wine casks.
Really, yeah.
In the cooperage down in the Barossa Valley there. So they only use the absolute top class oak in all their casks.
Yeah. Oh.
So when you get a cask from there, you're getting a top quality cask that has only been penetrated a small amount, but it's left enough residue to influence the next guy, which is this fella.
Yeah, it's amazing just the journey that the whisky makes. As a former cooper, when I was fixing a cask, you would take a broken stave out, and inside you could see how deep the spirit
Yeah.
penetrated on the side of the stave.
Mm.
I don't know if it's
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's like tide lines
Yes.
on wood.
Yeah.
You take the stave out, you see the different line, you can see how far it's penetrated. It's really quite interesting.
Mm.
So, the further in it's gone, the lighter the whiskey's going to be, because the spirit's been travelling back and forth, extracting. That's what the spirit does, it extracts. It's almost a science, you know. The viscosity is great. I mean, look at that. It's just running slowly.
Still doing. Still running.
So if it doesn't slide down the side of a glass very quickly, how long is it going to last in your palate? It's going to last a long time. You've got all these taste receptors. It's going to last a long time.
It's chewable. That's what my wife said. She says, you can chew it virtually.
Yeah. It's
Can't
lovely. Good job. I mean, for an absolute amateur and a man
Well, without a doubt.
and for a man who hardly ever drinks whiskey, you've done a good job. I hope you stick with whiskey now.
We've got some beautiful additions coming through.
Here we go. The acid test. Now Cameron, get this up. Watch what happens. You see the oil moving?
Yeah.
I'm going to separate this. See how much oil is in there. The natural oils from the malted barley. And do you see what I've done?
Yeah.
What's floating on the top?
It's the whiskey's on the top.
That's the natural oil from the
Yeah.
malted barley. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That band of gold, can you see that quite
Aye.
If
Yeah.
I hold it there, isn't that fantastic? That's what's giving you the mouthfeel, that's what's giving you the texture and the palate. That's it. This is really quite rudimentary. I'm in a blind competition, I don't know anything, this is what I do. I split it to see if it's chill filtered. This is not chill filtered, it's natural. Then I want to see. You see the drop on the end of my finger there?
Mhm.
It's not falling off. This confirms that it hasn't been chill filtered. If the
You
oil-
should have asked me, I could have told you that, Jim.
I'm-
Well, anyway, moving on.
I'm trying to educate.
I know
it's
this,
difficult
I know
because
this.
I spoke to one of my teachers, he said you're like big bugger at school. It's not falling off, so it doesn't fall off my finger at 2 meters. It's highly unlikely to fall off your tongue, is it? It's still there.
Correct.
That's the beauty, so you're very, very wise. That's just a little test. Somebody says, is this chill filtered or not chill filtered? Add the water, try it.
You
try
wouldn't
it.
put that much water in normally, though, would you?
It depends, this is a high strength, this is 50.4.
I always recommend people to add a little drop at a
Well,
time.
you can't tell anybody how to drink whiskey.
No, I don't. I
And I know
advise.
you would try, because you're such a stubborn bugger, but you will try.
Yes, I need a top up. I've been drinking while you've been talking.
I just want you to try and speak. Okay, camera's rolling. Herbie's first examination by Jim McEwan. This could be the end of your career. Oh my God, look at his swirl. Oh,
I am to steady a hand as you, James, but I can see exactly what you
you
mean.
got it.
Yeah,
You got it. That's the great sign.
yeah.
It's non-chill filtered. That's beautiful. You've done a good job there for a man of your age. It's quite incredible.
I know it is. Only just behind your good son. Yes. Anyway, cheers, James. Do you swill that round now?
Oh yeah, you got to mix it. Yeah. So
Now, I wouldn't put that much water in, but there you go.
well,
But I wouldn't do the test every time.
well, that's right. Depends how you like to drink it.
There's still a lot of viscosity, even with the
Well,
water.
it'll always be there. You haven't taken it out.
Yeah.
It's just in there. It's just
Yeah.
in a different form. That's what I hate about chill filtered whiskies. They've taken the good stuff out. They've taken the oil out so they can reduce the strength down to 40%. Why are you taking that natural oil out when that's what's giving you the big finish? That's what's giving you the mouthfeel. That's what's giving you the pleasure. So if I'm recommending, always buy whiskey that's non-chill filtered. It makes such a difference. Now we've added the water. Is there anything come out of the water? Yeah, much. Quite some quite nice floral notes in there.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
spring
there
flowers,
is.
you know, it's like the daffodils walking through the woodland in spring. You've got the
Oh,
bluebells coming out, old pine cones. There's actually a wee hint of mint, and it's really quite floral, not just fruity. And the oak is just supporting the whole thing. It's absolutely delightful. Really, really good. I'm not surprised because you never buy bad stuff anyway, you know, you've got a good nose.
I do try.
Wow. It's in its prime. At that age, it's absolutely in its prime.
It's perfect
I
for me.
would not hesitate to bottle that soon.
We're not. In 2 weeks. Just over 2 weeks.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just absolutely stunning. I think if you left it a little bit longer, maybe another year or so, the wine flavour would dominate.
Or the oak could come through too
I
much.
think maybe the wine might do it. The oak is, you need the oak.
You do need it.
The oak is, that's what
But I've tasted some whiskies that have been overoaked too long in the barrel, and all you can smell is oak, and all you can smell is oakiness and taste. But
no, it's
that's not every.
I would, as a guy who's judged in 1,000 competitions everywhere, I would rate this a gold medal whiskey.
Thank you,
Seriously,
James.
really, not because it's Bruichladdich, it's absolutely.
And not because it's me.
No, absolutely not. You haven't travelled all this way for me to tell you how good you are. I mean, if it was not good, I would tell you just as quickly. It's beautiful. I would give this a gold medal anyway. This is a 90 pointer, no question. It's so good, and I'm glad you haven't chill filtered it. It's really, really superb. It's ready for bottling, I would say.
Well, 2 weeks it will be bottled.
already. I think if you went much further, the oak,
No.
oak would start to
It will be 14-year-old on the 23rd of May.
Yeah.
2021 was laid down on the 23rd of May 2007.
Right. No, it's ready to go. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I say I would give it a gold medal, and I'm not. If it wasn't,
Well, I don't need any better accolade. I don't need a medal or anything like that. Them words from your mouth are good enough for me, James. Cheers.
Well, I'm not saying this to impress you, because if it was not good, I would tell you, because you might.
I would expect you to.
You know,
If
it's
it wasn't good,
absolutely-
I wouldn't put it in a bottle.
I see this as a really, really nice anytime single malt. It's a pre-dinner, or it could be after dinner. It's got that viscosity and that smoothness about it. It would be aperitif whiskey or after dinner. It's an anytime whiskey. The younger ones, you generally take them before dinner, and the older ones after dinner.
Yeah.
But I mean, at 20-year-old, they're going to be different. There's too much oak in there. This
Yeah.
is just right
It's
off
perfect.
the button.
Yeah.
It's absolute. The relationship between the oak and the spirit is like, it's like when you get married at first and you put the ring on the finger. It's the happiest day of your life at that point. They're just together, the oak and the spirit in total harmony. It's really, really good. And if it wasn't good, Herbie, I would tell you. You understand? I would really tell you. It's a beautiful, beautiful dram. You've done a great job.
Thank you,
I
James.
hope you're charging plenty for at least £20 a bottle.
Oh, at least, yes. We haven't yet decided how much, have we, James?
Cult.
Cult. Anyway.
No, well done. And also thank you for both of you for making this, James. Thank you for coming up and driving.
Thank you.
It can't have been easy driving down back all the way.
No. It's
2 o'clock in the morning we set off, James.
2 o'clock in the morning.
To catch the early ferry.
Is this something you're going to continue to do? Search out your own casks and do this sort of
Well,
stuff?
I've been doing it for the last 10 years.
Well, that's true, but this is one of the
And,
best ones.
and as you know, the last shipment of casks came over from your lumber. You acquired a few of those casks for your own collection.
That's right.
And at this minute, your lumber are putting together another container for me to ship over. So I'll be laying another 50 or 60 casks down in the next 2 years.
Where are you getting your whiskey from? All over.
Different distilleries. It's now getting harder to distilleries to fill casks for you. They're all pulling the reins in and not allowing casks to be filled for private bottlers. So yeah, we're working with a few nice distilleries, but I always taste the spirit first.
Yeah, for sure.
Of that distillery, and then I know that we've got a quality cask, a quality spirit. Put them together, and let's see what happens. And then we take a test every 2 years.
Well, as you know as well as I do, when you're talking about the not so well known distilleries, that's just because they don't have the marketing budgets of the big guys.
Exactly.
And they don't have the sales teams and the brand ambassadors. They're doing really, really well. And there's some brilliant little known whiskies out there. People don't, I've never heard of that one. I've never tried it before. Yeah, because you haven't been seduced by marketing. There's some great distillers.
One distillery which has taken my eye, and I've put quite a few casks down in it, is a new distillery, 3 Stills at Powick.
I don't know much about that one.
Well, it's there, and they've spent about £8-10 million on rebuilding it, and they put it in the old electricity works in Howick itself.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful old building, and it's absolutely stunning.
You should call it Sparky 10-year-old.
Sparky. I will in about 8 years. James, it's been a pleasure and an honour for you to do this for us.
I'm delighted, and thanks for coming all the way
Don't
up.
send the bill too quickly, because we've been on furlough for
Yeah.
12 months
And
now.
I love the bottle. It's absolute. This is what the customer sees first. He doesn't taste this. He sees this. He looks at the bottle. The presentation is brilliant. This is a brilliant. It tells it all. Fisherman's Retreat. This is your logo. He knows what to look for in the future. The bottle is super slim, fabulous. There's a touch of class about it. Who designed this for you?
We all had a hand in designing
Well,
it.
you've done a
Yeah.
really, really good job.
Yeah.
And this particular dram here, being in 2 different wine casks, proves beyond any doubt that the future lies in wine casks. We've had the bourbons from way back.
Yeah.
Sherry casks, as we spoke about earlier, you just can't get them. It's a great shame,
Yeah.
but there's no
Very few drink
But the
sharing it.
you know, I used so many different wine casks at Bruichladdich, and the results, people were initially they were saying, oh, that won't be real whiskey, or just, but it's all about education, you know
Yes.
what I mean?
It is.
It's not because
And experimentation.
oh, absolutely. I mean, the consumer needs education and not marketing. Marketing's easy, or buy two get one free, that sort of stuff. But when you get into the real hardcore single malt guys that your customers, I've been down to your place, I've done tasting. The knowledge level of your customers is great. That's what you're imparting on them, because your passion is very, very evident.
Yeah.
You know, and people do appreciate education. There's no doubt. Whether it's how to change a tire or whatever.
Anything.
When it comes
We
to
never stop learning.
no.
do we?
So, but when it comes to the social side, you looking at a bottle of whiskey that's costing you £65, and you're not sure whether I'm going to like it or not. You know, you're always there to
The
say.
beauty, Jim, sorry to interrupt, but the beauty about it is at the Fisherman's, you can buy a dram of any whiskey we've got, and we can send it anywhere in the world.
Really?
So we can send a dram of, and when I say a dram, it's a 50ml. So you're getting a double. You buy it, post and packaging, and we'll send it round over. And that's what we've said.
That's a unique service.
And we've sent it already to lots of foreign parts, including Scotland. We've sent whiskey back to Scotland for people to try. Seriously, we
Foreign
have.
parts, Scotland.
Have we not?
Excuse me?
The Outer Hebrides.
Well, you're in a Hebrides, so you're all right.
I know, but these are the inner ones.
Yeah. That's a brilliant service, actually.
Yeah, well,
And does that lead to them to come back here to buy a bottle?
they could either buy a bottle, or it could be a very expensive bottle
Yeah.
that they wouldn't be able to buy or want to buy,
That's
but they'd like to try a dram of it.
It's also for your
When you go
collectors.
behind a bar, when you go in a hotel or anywhere with a bar, a big collection, you and I and James and any of us that like whiskey look for something you've never had, and you say, I'll have a dram of that. You may not have a bottle, but you'll try the one that you've never had, and you can do that sat in your armchair nowadays with this online job, and it will arrive at your door from the Fisherman's Retreat
That's very clever.
for this dram tasting.
That is very clever. I've never heard
And we
of
also,
it.
the online tastings we've been doing, we are actually going to carry them on through the summer. Not as every month, but probably every 2 months, because we've got a nice little following of people. 5 whiskies, 30ml in each whiskey, in each dram, and James and I have been doing the online tastings. James, it's been a wonderful experience.
This has changed quite a bit. The fruits.
It has. The longer you keep
I'm
it,
getting apricot and peach
Yeah,
on it now. It's just
the
stunning.
longer you try it,
There's a real nice vanilla sweetness just under.
yeah,
It's like the fruits on top, and just as you go down under there, I'm getting the vanilla in there, and the sweetness of the oak. Oak is very, very sweet.
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely stunning. I love it. And
We could probably go out sit here till tea time, James.
no, I don't want you
But
sitting
I've
here
got a-
because you've got a ferry to catch.
I've got a ferry to catch and you'd get bored with me.
No,
So,
I'm never get bored with you. we could finish the bottle.
well, I'm up for it. James, tell them I'll be
I'll
home
come on
later.
next week.
Yeah. He's not coming
James,
back.
you were saying something about the drums. What?
Oh, the drams, yes. No, I was saying for real serious collectors that'll buy a bottle, but they won't want to open it. We do
open
have
virtually every bottle.
we try and get at least 2 bottles of rare stuff, and we'll open one, and then that's available. Obviously, there's only 14 shots if they're having a 50ml dram, so we will advertise
what
them
you
as
do.
well. Yeah, so we'll if there's something a bit rarer out there that they might have that they want to try, have a look on our site and they might be able to find it, and then they don't have to open their bottle.
That's fantastic. That's a great service. I've never heard of this before, apart from yourself. That is quite
Well,
something.
it's there.
Yeah, well done.
So-
I mean, you're doing a great job for Scotland, and we do really appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, it's the passion, James.
When am I
It's-
getting an invite down to another tasting?
you can do a tasting for us anytime you want.
But can you afford me?
Probably not. Well, you send me the bill, like you always have done.
That's Jimmy.
I know I haven't paid one yet.
That's where I was getting to.
Not on camera, Jim. Not on camera.
Just beat me to the point. I was expecting you to say, can you come down in 2 weeks' time, and I could say, well, you haven't trained me for the last time.
At least you get there. You've got there.
No, I think what you're doing for the Scotch whisky industry down at the retreat is just great. How long have you been specialising in single malt?
28 years.
In single malt.
Yes. Since I started buying that one bottle a week.
What was your most expensive purchase?
The one I bought from you at Bowmore.
£12.40.
The 40-year-old Bowmore. And Ken and I came up and tasted it on Bowmore's wall in April 2000.
Yeah.
And that was the most expensive I bought then.
Wow. That was a lot of money then.
Yeah. But we've bought a few others since.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yes.
It's worth doing it because you've got customers who really want to go there.
Yeah.
A special occasion, a wedding anniversary, just go high, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got a lot.
The Ardbeg double barrel cost us quite a lot when that came out.
What was the age in that?
It's a 1960s Ardbeg, two bottles in it,
Cool
in a gun
flash.
case, and it's got silver cups, a notepad and a silver pen to write the notes in, and it's a real kit. It's a real kit. We bought two.
Yeah.
I wish we hadn't sold the other. But we've won, we're still.
Yeah. Oh, I bet a good dram. People talk about good drams and great drams and all that stuff, but every distillery produces good whisky, and sometimes they produce great whisky depending on the cask going into. Distilling is a constant. They never change it. The stills run for 8 hours, or run for 7.5 hours, the mashing takes 6 hours, the malting takes 7 days. That's all standard. It's when you get into the cask, that's what makes the big difference.
As you said, the cask is the mother,
Yeah.
the spirit is the child.
There's nobody in Scotland making bad whisky. They've been doing it for too long. It's never been better. The quality in Scotland today has never been higher. It's just sensational. And there's a lot of new distilleries starting up, which is fine. It's a big world out there. I mean, this country, can you imagine when single malt really gets into China, the demand there's going to be for single malt in China? There's a lot of money in China as well. It happened in Japan, you know that. So there's whole...
The Malaysians like a lot of...
I don't know about them at all.
Well, anyway, it's worldwide. If you like it, you like it. If you
Yeah.
don't, you don't.
Well,
It's like any other product.
keep doing what you're doing, and I wish you all the luck in the world and what you're doing for single malt whisky.
We thank you
Really good.
for your time,
Yeah.
for your hospitality in your own home on
Uh,
a beautiful day in Islay. And ladies and gentlemen,
just before you go, Barbara, could you bring through the card reader? Henry's got his card here. No, it's over 200. Yeah, bring the card. Have you got your card in?
later, it's in the card, yeah. We'll get it out. Don't worry about it.
We'll never see it as usual, you know. Well, it's good to see you
He's just
guys.
money orientated all the time, is the man.
That's not fair.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our number 6.1 edition, tasting notes by Jim McEwan and myself, filmed by James, our film director today. We'll look forward to seeing you online, and Slanjivar. God
Yeah.
bless you all. Cheers, James.
If you could just leave me a wee drop, a sample bottle, I'll write a tasting note for you,
Okay, that's very kind.
if you don't mind.
No, we can leave you.
I could write lots of stories about this
Okay, that's good.
one without mentioning your name, which would help.
All right, that's fine. Ladies and gentlemen,
Cheers.
God
Thanks,
bless.
everybody.
All the best.
This man is the king. This is the king of single malt in your territory, I'll tell you. I've met lots of passionate people around the globe, but this is the #1 guy. I've never met anyone outside of the whisky industry itself with such passion and honesty and integrity. You've done a great job for that. And I'm not
Thank you,
saying
Ian.
that to flatter you,
No,
because I haven't really time to
you're
waste.
just doing it to make the bill bigger.
No, not at all. I'm being absolutely sincere.
I know.
You do a
Thank
great
you.
job. And
I appreciate that.
And the number of people that over the years that you've educated, you and the family, because I know the boys do the tastings as well, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. And I know you love doing it. You're right into single malt, so you should be rewarded for that. So,
Well, I may get a Scottish medal at some point. Who knows?
uh,
You can.
I don't know.
That's enough. Turn off,
You
Jim.
might get a Glasgow Cassidy.
Probably. God bless you all.
Cheers,
See you
everybody.
again.